Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the Coaxium Cantina. I'm Benjamin,
And I'm Aiden.
and in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Biomes, which is the new, greatly anticipated Star Wars series. I'm only kidding. We're reviewing The Bad Batch, Episode 1. After
I was not expecting that.
Oh, God. If you have Disney Plus, watch Star Wars Biomes. It's... honestly. Anyway, we're reviewing The Bad Batch, Episode 1. I mean, if you really want us to do a Star Wars Biomes review, then sure, but if you watch it, then you probably don't. The Bad Batch, Episode 1. Obviously, this is spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, do it, and come back and listen to our thoughts, and give us your thoughts as well. So yeah, Aiden, what's your opinion on Episode 1 of The Bad Batch? Spoiler alert. This is your 5-second warning for any spoilers. 3, 2, 1, boom. Spoilers. If you go.
Right. First off, I think the kind of, not necessarily flashbacks, but the kind of getting up to date visuals that we had at the start. So, like, everything that happened in season 7, and that was amazing. But we had the Clone Wars Revenge of the Sith stuff.
Me and Aiden, oh my god, if you saw me and Aiden when Obi-Wan, it was Obi-Wan and Anakin and then and General Grievous
there as well. Oh, Grievous.
Oh my god. If you watched our theories one, if you watched our theories episode, which was the last one, we did say we would kill to have General Grievous in it. And they went and put General Grievous in it, so fair enough to them.
The season 7 Clone Wars design just looks so clean.
It does.
It's beautiful.
It does.
But yeah, that catch up was really good. I was really interested that they went for Depa Billaba and Caleb Doom.
As soon as I saw Depa Billaba, I was like, this is going to be the story about Caleb Doom. And I thought it was really clever way to do it, because it's not like he's going to have his own show or anything, but they incorporate it with this show, and suddenly it's making the character of Kanan Jarrus that much better.
Yeah, because it's not just like it was a simple like clone battalion that he was with.
It was the Bad Batch.
Goddamn Bad Batch.
And obviously, when he meets up with Captain Rex and all the other clones, he was like, he didn't trust them, obviously. And there's the obvious reason why he wouldn't trust them. But then there was the bit in the forest where he was like, oh, we're here to help, and then Crosshair fires at him.
Yeah.
So there's another reason why, even when they say we're here to help, that he just doesn't trust anyone anymore.
Yeah, that was a cool little tie-in, and it had the mention of Obi-Wan with Grievous on Utapau, which was
I love that bit
as well.
That's great.
I think it was definitely good, because with season 7, we obviously had the Bad Batch arc, and then when this show was like said to be coming out, we were all like, right, is this just a season 8 of Clone Wars?
Yeah.
And in a way, it kind of is.
Yeah.
But I just think it's so good, because their fight scenes and the story behind them is so that there's so much you can do there. Even with, we didn't think about going into it, we just thought it was going to be focused like completely on the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And then when Kanan came in, you were like, hold on, there's already like much deeper story to this already, because Kanan's there and you see the Order 66 perspective.
Yeah.
And then we also see the transformation side of the Republic to the Empire. So I think going into it, we didn't realize how much more meaning there was going to be in this simple spin-off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Of course, as always, gotta love the Camino setting. I
Oh yeah,
think that
sure.
was brilliant, especially
Right,
in
we need to
season
talk about this
7
one thing.
redesign.
We need to talk about this one thing. Right?
Go on.
Was that Jedi Shakti?
It would make sense.
Because the lightsaber dropped, but I don't know what Shakti's lightsaber looks like.
I'm not sure if it's that quote unquote generic master one that has like the same
Oh
pole.
no, it was Shakti. It was Shakti's lightsaber.
Ah, right. So that's a bit of a shame because we haven't got a canon. Well, this is her canon death now.
Yeah.
But we didn't actually see what happened.
Yeah. I would have
So
liked to see what happened, but I guess it's obviously not a kid friendly show. It's you can't really have like all the Jedi dying and stuff, and I mean the way that they did Death of Belial wasn't exactly brutal either, was it?
Yeah.
It was, they kind of killed her off screen, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was a difficult one because you couldn't really kill all the Jedi that don't have deaths off on screen because it's not that kind of show. But at the same time,
you can hint to it.
Yeah. And
to be fair, we did say that we thought like Shakti would be in this in some sense.
Yeah.
We did say that this is probably where she's going to die.
Yeah. To be honest, because Shakti was the Jedi that was on Camino. She oversaw everything. And she was kind of in Tarkin's position.
Yeah.
And considering she wasn't there, obviously, throughout, with the lightsaber dropping, it just makes sense that that's who it is.
Yeah.
And from what I can remember and what I see, it does look like Shakti's lightsaber. So
yeah,
that is her dead.
So she is gone then.
Yep.
I think the start of this show was really good at doing the whole Order 66 thing because our biggest thing was like, oh, how are they gonna react to it?
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know how it was gonna work with their mutations and the inhibitor chip. And then we had that scene with Tech going through saying like, oh, because we're so heavily mutated, it clearly doesn't work the way it should.
Yeah.
And then when it got to Echo, he's like, hold on, I'm a reg. Why aren't I in that boat? And then it did the whole season 7 explanation as well, which was really good. And then you could kind of see the comparison between the Bad Batch and how it affected the normal troopers as well.
Yeah. I hate to go back to it again, but I've literally just seen. I'm on the scene now where it drops the lightsaber, and I don't know because her hand kind of. I don't know if it's her hand or not. Because the hand drops the lightsaber, but the hand isn't red, which is what her skin color is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe it's not.
That's the thing. Maybe it's not, but at the same time, she's really the only Jedi we've
She's
seen
the only one that can
spend time.
Yeah.
Camino.
Oh no, but no, it's not her lightsaber.
Isn't it?
No.
Don't know.
No, it's not her lightsaber. So it's not Shakti. Shakti's still alive. Well, probably not. But she lives to fight another. She lives to die another day, shall we say?
Quite literally.
No, I would imagine that she would have been killed there. But whose lightsaber is that?
I don't know. It looked yellow.
I mean, there must have been a reason for them dropping the lightsaber.
I think it was just a case of,
like,
look, there was a Jedi here.
Yeah, but there must have been a reason Why? Yeah, I don't know.
Plot twist, it was
Well,
Mace Windu and he fell so far out the window he went off planet.
I got to get that transfer to Kamina. Anyway, let's talk about Crosshair as well.
Ooh.
As you were saying with the chip, obviously we know that Echo doesn't, or Echo did have one, but Echo was messed about with so much the chip just doesn't work.
Tech said he was more machine than man by a percentage.
Yes.
So that's why it didn't.
AKA Echo is Darth Vader.
Basically.
Yeah.
He's a clone version at least.
Yeah. And then obviously Hunter was questioned throughout by Crosshair for not following in their orders. But the thing, I kind of knew that it was going to happen as soon as Crosshair said, good soldiers follow orders.
Oh, that was a good call.
That was a line right there. Because it was very similar to Fives, wasn't it? Sorry, yeah. Wait, no, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Tuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very. You sure?
100%.
When did Fives die?
Fives died because he trapped Anakin and Rex in the Ray Shield, and he was trying to explain the Order 66 conspiracy. But the good soldiers follow orders bit was before that happened with Fives, and Tup was the one saying it before he killed the Jedi.
Oh yes. So yeah, it kind of proved that he did have the chip in there, and I think the way he dealt with Caleb was also obvious that he had some sort of a chip in there.
Yeah. Or at least had some sort of response from it.
Yeah. Because while obviously we did in our last podcast, we did say that it was likely that Crosshair was going to be a villain. But it's interesting how he's the only one with I mean, it makes sense that he's the only one with the chip because his mutations aren't really like physical. He's just good at aiming, really.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I think it's more. I'd say something like Wrecker, that's due to like a full body mutation, whereas Crosshair is more like. I think it's just his perception of things.
Yeah.
So.
But I think he does. Obviously, the combination of him as a person and the chip would probably.
I personally found that his Imperial redesign was basic as hell, but looked
It was so cool. It was so cool.
It had the dark green visor and the dark green mouthpiece as well.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was so good. Okay, so what do we think about Amiga, however they said it?
I think it was actually done all right in my opinion.
I'll tell you what I found was quite clever, because the Kaminoan said, "Oh, we only have 5 genetically modified clone troopers."
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, I know I definitely did. I was just like, oh, well, that's the 5 with Echo.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that most people would have counted Echo as that. So when they then went, oh, Echo's not one, and that's Omega's the other. Oh.
Yeah. It does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought she was all right. I mean, we didn't really get much from her character.
I think it was definitely what we said it was going to be. It was like a person following them and learning what they're like and everything.
Yeah. And also with Crosshair leaving, she might replace him.
Yeah, because I think I saw from the trailer she might have a bow and arrow, so she
Yeah.
kind of still has that same
Yeah.
kind of layout.
And we got the prisons again.
Oh, the prisons from Carnage of Krell.
Oh, Carnage of Krell prisons were so cool.
I think I don't know about you because I didn't really ask when we were watching it, but I personally thought that Wrecker was a lot better in this.
Yeah, I agree.
Than in the season 7 arc.
I agree, 100%. Just he's much less annoying.
Oh, I tell you what, I did talk to you about this when we were watching it. I am so happy with how they did Echo's helmet because when we saw that he had a helmet, but then was told that he had a Lobot headset, I was like, hold on, how's this gonna work? And when he's holding his helmet under the shoulder, you can see that he's got like the back piece for it, and the whole thing, it just looks so good.
Yeah.
And he almost uses his droid data arm as like the knife they all have, which is
that's
cool
really cool. Just Dave Filoni, what a man. What a man Dave Filoni is. He's managed to not only just do the story about, like, enhance the story of the Clone Wars and expand the story of the Clone Wars, but as we said earlier, he's managed to expand the story of Star Wars Rebels as well, because we got to see Saw Gerrera as well.
Yeah, see?
And what do you think about his inclusion, actually? We haven't talked about Saw Gerrera.
Well, his inclusion was interesting because it kind of felt like an unnecessary one-off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in my mind, I'm thinking, hold on, they've done a bit of like Robert Pattinson's Batman. They've done the majority of the clips from the trailer in episode 1.
Yeah.
So we're
getting thinking that as
more
well.
and more unknown stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they go and see one of their friends at the end of the episode. It was one of those annoying cliffhangers, but at least we don't have to wait a week for it, and we only have to wait a few days.
True.
But who do you think that's going to be? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious who it is, but
I want it to be Rex. You know,
I think it's going to be Rex. I can't imagine who else it would be though.
Yeah, true. Unless they've got someone like another clone buddy, or like, oh, in the past we saved blah blah blah, or we had contact with blah blah blah.
It could be Saw Gerrera, actually. I wouldn't say that they were friends, really.
It could, but I think that would just be random. It's like, oh, where are we going to go?
We met this
lad. Yeah, we met this lad like literally before we came to pick you back up.
Although that would explain why Saw's rebels are so outlandish with their tactics, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose you're not wrong there. But
if the Bad Batch joins Saw Gerrera's rebels, then it's a bit like we already know that the Bad Batch have these questionable tactics that somehow work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Saw Gerrera is known for. So,
well, he's known for being an extremist, so I suppose they're more
extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that did really interest me was the process in which Tarkin controlled Crosshair, because we had the whole Order 66 thing and him being the only Bad Batch member to properly want to follow through with it.
Yeah.
But when Tarkin said about the enhancing effects of the chip, that was something I didn't know that was possible, and was actually really interesting, because we've seen, I think it is in canon, but I think it's in other source material, that some clone troopers heard it, but actually dismissed it as a lie or a trick. So some heard Order 66 but was like, right, hold on, this can't be proper. So learning that there's a process that actually forces them to comply with it even more is actually really interesting.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like the inhabited chip works different for different clones, I would guess, or different clone batches. Because not all of the clones had inhibitors, did they?
All of them did, yeah.
What, right from the very start?
From the very start, from birth, they have it. When they're in the early stages of birth, all of them are implanted.
Yeah, but I meant like the clones that were first made.
Yeah, they had it as well.
They all had it. All right. Okay.
Yeah, because bear in mind, it was still the whole basis that they were making the clones off of Jango Fett's DNA. So straight away, they had to be.
Yeah.
The first battalions had to have the inhibitor chips to make them less like him and more like soldiers.
Yeah. That makes sense. Very interesting. So, any predictions for the next episode then?
Well, hoping it's a Rex team up, because
we know Rex is in it. So
yeah, and in turn, I think that was the Zygarians as well. So they could be going to Zygaria.
Possibly.
So that's an interesting one because Rex hasn't been there since he was with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
What the Bad Batch would be doing there, I'm not sure. I think it might be a case where they're hopping on a job that Rex is on, maybe. So they might just be there to talk to him, but might provide backup for him.
Yeah. What happens if... Now, this is just a hypothetical that I've just thought of now. What happens if they're going to see Commander Cody?
But I think...
Obviously, he did comply with Order 66, but
yeah,
they were, from what I saw from Season 7, they were quite close.
Yeah.
So it could be a trap.
Together before.
And then we would finally get an explanation of what happened to Cody in the Empire. It could happen.
It's an interesting one. It could be either Rex or Cody, and I think there would be more weight if it was maybe Cody.
Yeah.
Because it would be another thing where it's like, right, we've just lost Crosshair, someone who was part of our family, and now we're going to this person who we think can help.
Yeah.
And they too have.
It's just the fact of whether they know that all clones have been affected, or some have managed to. Well, obviously they know that some have managed to not do it because they've not done it. So they might go to Cody, and Cody's like, yeah. Cody's been told that the Bad Batch are coming and ordered to capture them. So could be a case of that, really.
Could be.
Anyway, that's the Bad Batch episode 1. Any more for you to say, Aidan?
Now, in fact, no. I'm going to leave this for a later episode. Yeah. Stay tuned,
teaser,
ladies and gentlemen.
Teaser.
Yes, it's a teaser with no context whatsoever, so I'm teasing nothing but something at the same time.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, to be honest. So
exactly.
Thank you guys so much for watching / listening. Check out our new Instagram page at the Coaxium Cantina. That Instagram page is solely for this podcast, so there you go. Check out the Coaxium Smugglers Instagram page as well. There's a character competition going on there, with the Bad Batch included. Leave your thoughts, theories, and anything in between on the Bad Batch down in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you hopefully on Saturday/Sunday/Friday, because it comes out on Friday, for episode 2 of The Bad Batch. So that'll be exciting. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.